Welcome to the Backyard Professor videos. I'm Kerry Schertz, the Backyard Professor. I've received an interesting challenge, an assertion more or less, on my YouTube website about the idea that if one understands the proper historical context of the Bible, you wouldn't possibly be a Mormon because the proper historical context of the Bible refutes Mormonism. Now, this is one subject that I've been reading through the last couple of decades of my life, is all of the biblical scholarship on some of the new and exciting archaeological and historical discoveries about the Bible, along with some new, very interesting and exciting interpretations with, among other things, the Dead Sea Scrolls of all things. And I disagree with that assertion that if one understands the proper historical context of the Bible, it would refute Mormonism. So I'm going to do a series of videos on the historical context of the Bible, and we're going to see just how much Mormonism it refutes. It covers such areas as the Mother Goddess, a seriously important background in the context of the Bible. It covers polytheism. Ancient Israel's religion originally was absolutely polytheistic, and I'll show that with the scholarship. Another thing it talks about is the marriage of the gods. The mother and the father were married and they sired children. True story. The pre-existence of our spirits. The idea of the council of the gods. I even have a scholar that says in his doctoral dissertation, William P. Brown in his doctoral dissertation, he has evidence and shows how the very first verse of the Bible has been changed by some old Jew who had no authority to do so. It's almost as if he's paraphrasing Joseph Smith. Now I'm going to be using such scholars as Frank Moore-Cross Jr., Raphael Patai, Eugene Sage. I'm going to be using scholars such as William P. Brown, some of the David Noel Friedman, some of the cream of the crop biblical scholars. And I want you to do me a favor for me. If you have the chance to get to a university, preferably one that has biblical studies area, I want you to go into the biblical studies department and ask them, hey, this Bozo the Clown dude, this Backyard Professor on YouTube, claims that E. Theodore Mullen Jr. and Frank Moore-Cross Jr. and William F. Albright and Raphael Patai and all these supposed scholars that he's giving us this historical context of the Bible. He really seems to think they're valid scholars. Because I want you to look me right in the eye. Come here. I want you to look me right in the eye. The scholars I'm using, make no mistake about this, are the cream of the crop. They have been into biblical studies for decades. 80 years in some cases. Frank Moore-Cross Jr. is that old, and he's been studying the Bible his whole life. These issues that I'm going to be dealing with, the council of the gods, the idea of God the Father is married to God the Mother, and they sire children. This idea that the Bible has been changed, it's been rewritten, and what they rewrote was major fundamental doctrines. Monotheism is not Israel's earliest religion. The scholarship these days say the earliest original Israelite religion was polytheism. The Bible has been rewritten. I have lots of Margaret Barker's research with me. I have lots of different biblical scholars that share that idea. So I want you to go to your university and check up on me. I insist on that. Don't take my word for this. I'm a nobody. I'm a nothing. But the people I'm reading, the scholars I'm reading, they are top dog. They are the best of the best. They are the cream of the crop. So if you're going to propose to me that you understand the historical context of the Bible, I'm not sure how much aware you are of how it's changed over the last 30, 40 years. But it's going to shock you what I'm going to present to you on the proper context. It's a Canaanitish, Syro-Phoenician, Mesopotamian, Assyrian, Babylonian, Ugaritic context. Israel did not live in isolation. Her doctrines, her theology, her ideas did not just come in a vacuum. Unfortunately, the original Israelite religion that we think we're reading about in the Bible right now, that's not what happened. So get ready for the shock of your life when I present to you the scholarship on the actual, correct, historical context of the Bible. I want you to get these sources that I'm quoting from, and if you believe you understand the correct biblical historical context, then I think it's time we tango together. Let's do a YouTube debate. I'll present some videos showing you what I believe the historical context of the Bible is, and I will show you how it does not refute Mormonism, and you show me the biblical context that does refute Mormonism. But I'm showing you my sources. I'm giving you the name of the authors, I'm giving you the publisher, I'm giving you the publication date, I'm quoting from the page number, and so on and so forth. I'm giving you my sources. I expect the same from you. You want to debate this subject of the proper historical context of the Bible? Game on. I'm more than ready. I've been ready for 20 years for this. I've been reading very steadily the scholars. Now, in a way, I've done this backwards. And the reason I say I'm backwards at this is because I've been studying the scholars now for about 20 years, but I'm just now learning the languages. You know, I'm teaching Hebrew on the YouTube. And I'm learning some Greek and Aramaic so that I can get into the Zohar as well as the Septuagint Greek Old Testament. But I'm learning Hebrew. So I have some serious advice for you if you want to pretend you're going to tell me that my understanding of the historical context of the Bible is wrong and yours is correct and yours refutes Mormonism and mine doesn't. If you're going to debate me on this subject, one of my very most favorite subjects, then I suggest seriously you be prepared to analyze some Hebrew, because it's far stronger in the Hebrew than it is in any English translation of the Bible. If you think you're going to quote to me the English translations of the Bible to refute some of these doctrines and ideas, think again. Wrong answer. I'm even going to give you an extra bonus. You go ahead and go get a group of 50 of your friends. Go get 50 scholars for all I care. You're still going to be outnumbered 50 to 1. That's how prepared I believe I am. Now that doesn't mean this makes me all so great. I'm a nobody. I'm just the messenger. But the scholars I'm reading, they are top dog. They are the best of the best. And I've been reading them carefully for many years. So I'm ready to talk about this subject. It's one of my very favorite subjects. It directly has to do with Mormonism and the Book of Mormon and the Book of Abraham. I mean, all of the restoration scriptures that Joseph Smith brought out have to do with serious important groups of peoples and the patriarchs and the prophets. Do you think we've been sitting idly by all this time? You know, I've seen it said that Mormons don't appreciate the Bible, that they disparage the Bible, that they hate the Bible. Well, I'm willing to put that one to proof. Let's see who understands the biblical context. I'll make a few videos, and then you make a few videos. But I don't want to see mamby-pamby people that I've never heard of before. I want you to get the real serious Bible scholars. And unfortunately, the nature of the game, I don't accept your authority. I'm a skeptic. I don't accept your authority. If you're going to simply assert, oh, well, you're wrong, backyard professor, you don't know what you're talking about, that's not the true historical context. That's not even accurate. You're taking things out of context, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to laugh you off the stage. It's going to be like a saber-toothed tiger fighting a piece of paper. I'm going to shred your arguments like crazy.